Hello, and welcome back to part 2 of my mini-series where I am ranking the 2024 GoodReads Choice Award nominees in the category of mystery and thriller. So let's get into it. In case you missed part 1, I'll leave a link to it in the description down below. And here is a reminder of what our ranking list is looking like this far, so let's jump into the vlog portion. Hello, I'm about halfway through The Return of Ellie Black, and this one is interesting. In this one, we're following Ellie, who's this young girl, and she's been kidnapped, but after 2 years, she's mysteriously shown back up again. We're also following Chelsea, who's a detective, and she is trying to solve Ellie's case, figure out what happened to her, but Ellie isn't being super helpful in the investigation, so it's obvious that we're missing a big piece of the puzzle here, so I'm curious to see where it's gonna go. So I will check back in with you guys once I have finished it. Wow, I did not see that ending coming at all. Throughout the entire book, I was so frustrated with Ellie and her actions. It just didn't make any sense to me. And I don't want to spoil it too much, but once you get the reveal, it really all comes together. So I liked this one. I'm going to put this one above Home is Where the Bodies Are, but below The Teacher. Hello! I just want to do a quick check-in before I head to work for the day because I am about halfway through The Boyfriend by Frida McFadden. In this one, we're following Sydney. She's in her early 30s and is living in New York, and she's been struggling in the dating scene. In fact, at the beginning of the story, we're following her as she's on like a really bad date with this creepy guy. Something I think is interesting about this one is this is the first Frida McFadden book, at least the first one that I've read, that we have a dual timeline, which is kind of fun. So I'm really excited to see where this one goes. You guys know I love Frida McFadden, so I will check back in when I finish this one. God, I love Frida McFadden so much. So I finished The Boyfriend and I really liked it. Her books are just such page turners and just so easy to read. I really thought I knew what the plot twist was gonna be on this one, and as usual, I was completely wrong. I'm gonna put this one above The Teacher, but below First Lie Wins. Hello! So I'm a smidge over the halfway point for The Last One at the Wedding, and this one has my interest piqued. We're following this guy Frank, who's been estranged from his daughter for a couple years now, but she randomly calls him up and says she's getting married and she wants him to be there. And so Frank, he's super excited, but he starts having more and more questions when he starts to meet the family members of the family his daughter is potentially marrying into. So I'm listening to this one on Spotify. I'm curious to see how this one's gonna go. I will check back in once I finish this one. Alrighty, I have finished The Last One at the Wedding, and I'm kind of perplexed by this one. So I was liking it, and then the reveal happened. I was 100% wrong about what the reveal was, and I was shocked. I thought that was good. But then the immediate afterwards of what happened after the reveal kind of felt a little lackluster to me, and I have a lot of questions, and I feel like things are still really unresolved, and I'm just like, that's it? Like, I don't know. I don't want to say what it is because I don't want to spoil it, but if you guys want to chat, leave me a comment and we can chat down below because I feel like the ending kind of ruined it for me. So I was thinking I'm gonna put this one above All the Colors of the Dark, but below Not What She Seems. Good morning. So I am about 35% of the way through Society of Lies. I'm struggling a little bit to get into this one. Something interesting about this is we have a triple timeline, which I don't know if I've ever personally read before. So we have Maya, who's a Princeton alumni, and we have two perspectives for her. One of them is back in the day when she was a student at Princeton. The second perspective is the current day, where it is like a couple days before her younger sister was supposed to graduate, and she finds out that her sister has been found dead. And then the third perspective is from her sister, Naomi, in the final months before her death. So that sounds like it would be really interesting, but I don't know. I'm a little bored, and I'm not really sure where this is gonna go. So I'll check back in once I finish this one. Hello. So I have finished The Society of Lies, and I wasn't a huge fan of this one. In general, I'm not a huge fan of books that are set in college settings. And then to add another layer to this one was all about these eating clubs, which seems to be Princeton's versions of sororities. And so both Maya and Naomi were a part of the same eating club, but within that eating club, there was a secret society that both of them were also members. And I I don't know. I was really annoyed by the lack of communication between Maya and Naomi. Like, yeah, they have kind of a big age gap for siblings. It's like 10 years or something like that. But, like, as kind of a hot take, I feel like it's very possible Naomi would have lived if Maya and Naomi would have just talked about their lives to each other. Like, they're adults, you know? Just it's not that hard to communicate. So, I just I really wasn't a big fan of this one. I'm gonna put this one below All the Colors of the Dark. So I'm about halfway through We Solve Murders, and this one's kind of kooky. We're following this woman named Amy, who's a professional bodyguard, which we love to see women in roles that are traditionally male. But things are kind of going sideways for Amy because someone's trying to pin some murders on her, and the other protective agent that is on this job with her turns on her and tries to shoot her. So now Amy goes on the run with her client, who's this prolific author named Rosie. And when Amy's boss goes missing, Amy turns to the only other person she could trust, which is her father-in-law, who is a retired detective. Now, all of this has the bones to be something really good and sounds like it should be very serious, but it's really goofy. I've never read anything by Richard Osman before, and I'm not sure how I feel about his writing style. This is definitely more of like a cozy mystery than a thriller. There's a lot of like humor in it, which is kind of weird to me. So I don't know how I feel about it yet, but I will check back in with you guys once I finish this one. Hello! So I finished We Solve Murders, and I will admit, this one did kind of grow on me. It was kind of refreshing how different this one was from a lot of the other books on this list. But with that being said, I did feel like there were some parts that should have been really serious, but they just kind of came off goofy, just because of how unserious the dialogue was. So while it did grow on me, I'm not necessarily chomping at the bit to read more books by this author, you know? For this one, I'm gonna put it above Not What She Seems, but below Home is Where the Bodies Are. Alrighty, that is everything for today's video. Thank you so much for being here. Leave me a comment if you've read any of the books that I talked about today and let me know what your opinions on them are, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.